Hello you, whoever clicked on this video. Do you like mechs? What am I talking about? Of course you do, you're human. What about dinosaurs? Have you ever played a game that you quite like, but are very confused about why it exists the way it exists? And have you ever been very concerned said game won't continue to exist because of wild decisions made by the people who put it out? Really? Well then do I have a game I want to talk about at you? First, let's describe Exoprimal, no matter how futile that might feel, why Exoprimal is good, and what the central problem is that may lead to its death. Exoprimal is an online multiplayer action game by Capcom about teams of mech suit-wearing soldiers fighting dinosaurs and each other in PvPvE matches while stuck in a quantum simulation ruled over by a mad AI. It's a premise that has so many layers you could be forgiven for crumbling pistachios on it, drizzling it in honey, and eating it for dessert after a delicious order of falafel. I don't know why Capcom had to put the AI time loop story on top of the mechs versus dinos premise that already sounds like a winner to me, but they still managed to make a fun, engaging, and ridiculous story that goes way harder than it has any right to while being weaved in between multiplayer matches for some reason in the most clumsy way possible. I suppose the story gives you a reason to be fighting the same dinosaurs in the same maps over and over and over again, but also, why? The matches themselves are where Exoprimal really shines. Combat is fast, snappy, satisfying, and it never gets old mowing down wave after wave of Raptor, Pachycephalosaurus, and Pteranodon, which are not dinosaurs by the way, they're pterosaurs, which are a different thing of reptile. Dinosaurs are barely reptiles. They're ancestors of modern day birds, whereas pterosaurs are slightly closer to lizards or crocodiles. You can tell because Pteranodon's legs bow out at the side when they fly or walk. Dinosaurs have hips that go straight down, like a bird does. You see, reptiles and mammals actually share some of the same...
Pig. Hey,
I was kind of in the middle of something. What is it, Mr. Octopus?
I was kind of hoping we could get back on topic to the video game at hand and not give people, taxonomy lessons.
But I need to let the people know.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, it has absolutely nothing to do with the game. So...
But I need to let the people know! Matches are split up into two phases. In the first phase, you run around the map completing objectives which are 99% of the time to kill a bunch of dinosaurs, and see if the enemy team can kill a bunch of dinosaurs faster than you. In the second phase, the two teams are pulled into the same dimension and fight mech to mech to control points, push a big cube Overwatch style, or other. I was surprised by how well balanced and fun the second phase PvP is. Each mech has its own set of weapons and moves, and you can switch between them at any time by hopping out and, after a brief cooldown, calling in another cool mech to protect your pathetic human flesh frame. All in all, the core loop of Exoprimal is a raving success. In fact, all the supporting systems and progression are also not bad. There's skins purchasable with in-game currency, mod slots, nameplates, and the game isn't stingy with loot boxes either. You get them at an even clip, and sometimes they even have good stuff in them, like rarer, shinier skins, or... That's really the only thing that I care about, but still, taken as a package with its thin but enjoyable core mode, its smooth progression, and its reasonably priced microtransaction and battle pass, Exoprimal is a solid free-to-play game to jump into and have some fun with friends. There's only one problem. This is not a free-to-play game. Exoprimal, a game with one core mode and pop-ups telling you about the exciting premium battle pass, costs a cool 60 United States American dollars. Forgive me for being a bit of a pessimist, but I feel that a multiplayer-only game like this, especially one so thin on things to do initially, is doomed without the constant influx of new players and goodwill around constant microtransactions that being free-to-play affords. Look at successful, sustainable multiplayer games like Paladins and Warframe that rely on people curious about the game to feed in new players who need nothing more than the game system and some drive space to see what these games have to offer. Not to mention friends. I enjoyed playing Overwatch when it first came out with friends during free weekends, but I never spent the $40 required to get permanent access to that now dead corpse of a game. But I felt like playing something kinda like Overwatch with a friend at one point, so I found Paladins, a hero shooter that is arguably more fun than Overwatch that I could easily try without the fear of throwing my money down a big blizzard-shaped toilet. Being free to play also means you can do things that would be scummy to do in a full-priced game and still be seen as the good guys. Look at Path of Exile, one of, if not the best ARPG on the market right now, and a personal favorite of mine. The entire breadth of PoE's playable content is free. All 10 campaign acts, all the endgame atlas maps, all the loot, all the classes, all the builds and spells are free of charge to anyone with even a passing interest in Diablo-style loot games and or New Zealand-style fantasy pastiches. Because of this, PoE developer Grinding Gear Games can ask absurd prices for character skins and cosmetic spell effects and not feel like they're ripping off the player. You're already getting an entire free, excellent game. You're just supporting development. Kind of like how PBS gives you a DVD copy of the Nova episode you just enjoyed as a gift for a cold, hard contribution. When a game like Exoprimal, which feels like it could have a robust and engaged player base, which it needs because it's a multiplayer-only game, they could have made a co-op game if they wanted, they could have made a single-player game if they wanted to do their weird story. They made a multiplayer-only game. And Exoprimal is... What did I write in the script? I went off of it for a sec. All that is to say with a game like Exoprimal, which feels like it could have a robust and engaged player base, is hounding their customers about battle passes and skins even after they likely paid $60 for the right to enter. Well, it feels bad. And while for now the game is on Xbox Game Pass, which does mitigate some of the concern for those with an Xbox or PC subscription, it doesn't bode well for the long-term health of the game that PS5 and Steam players are walled off from an experience they might have really enjoyed if given the chance. Maybe if there were a full single-player campaign, as opposed to just a few deranged cutscenes, and the rest of the modes and ways to engage with dinosaur slaughter weren't so weirdly doled out after grinding regular matches, I could see a reason for the paywall, but hey, why is the story like this? At first, there's only one type of mission, which you can play in either PvE or PvP, but as you play matches, by the way, they're both PvP, it's just one you actually physically shoot another player and the other one it's like speedrunning. But as you play matches, you start getting the aforementioned deranged cutscenes that slowly build on the game's narrative, which, without getting into spoilers, are some of the most hat on a hat on a hat on top of another hat I have ever had the pleasure of witnessing. Why build a game like this? Why gate story and new modes behind seemingly simple PvP experience? I can imagine the devs thought it would be cool to slowly reveal the breadth and nature of their game after setting the player's expectations low, but I could see it in conversation with games like Nier Automata and Warframe, which openly present as one thing before opening up and revealing much more depth and novelty as you play. The thing is, Nier is a single-player game with no reliance on other players to get you through the story, and Warframe is a free-to-play game with constantly increasing player base. Exoprimal is neither. I really do hope Exoprimal can find a player base. Why, you might ask? Because it's different, it's interesting, it's fun, it's a kind of multiplayer game that I enjoy, and there are not a lot of those on the market at any one time. I don't know where we're going to be 6 months down the line. For that matter, in 6 weeks. Folks are fickle, Capcom. One minute they can't stop slaying dinosaurs, and the next they're baldering gates and peeing on lies. Why did I bring up RPGs to compare to this game? Because I'm trying to write it quickly, and I don't want to Google what new multiplayer games are coming out.
Mechapig?
Yes, Mr. Octopus.
Is there any way I could tempt you into putting in the minimum amount of effort required for this video?
Can I have a little treat?
You can tell me about pterosaurs.
Folks are fickle, Capcom. One minute they can't stop slaying dinosaurs in their mech suits, and the next they're defying some X's and paying 3 days.
Thank you?
You're welcome. So a lot of people think dinosaurs are just giant lizards because their name means terror lizards, right? But that's just because old paleontologists were dumb.